Okay, I'm in the National Trust car park in Gwynant Valley, under the slopes of Snowdon. And actually I've never parked here before. It seems a pretty handy parking spot, but unfortunately there are no footpaths that go up from here up to the summit of Snowdon. There is one that starts about a couple of miles up the road. Okay, parking is free, so that's unusual for a National Trust car park, but a donation's £2 is suggested. Well, okay. I'm tempted to put one. Okay, well, yeah, all right. So that's where I am now. I don't know how to pronounce that. Craftlwyn, and I'm going to do that walk there, up all the way. Well, where are we? Yeah, well, it goes off the map there. Quite a long walk today. Before I start the walk, you know, I'll just have a look at this little information centre over there. But look at that, that's the sun came up about, well, 2 hours ago, but it's still in shade here because of the high mountains. And we're in a valley here. Okay, I'm in this little information centre. Of course there's no one here except me. I won't read all this. It's a lot of Vortigern, powerful ruler of Britain in the 5th century AD, rallying against the Anglo-Saxon invaders. But I'm going to take the opportunity of visiting that, an ancient. I think there's hardly anything left of it, but there's an ancient hill fort. Well, actually, I don't think it's that ancient. I think it's operating when the Prince of Wales, the two Llewellyns in the ancient kingdom of Wales were. Okay, so I'll start the walk. There's the car park down there. I've just started on this. Looks like a well constructed footpath, and look at that. I'm just about to come into the sunshine out of the shade. Believe it or not, this is the first time I've been on this section of the footpath in all the years I've been here. But these are very tall pines here. Now, I'm going to go up to Dinas Emrys, the hill fort belonging to the Llewellyns, the Prince of Wales, and then carry on going. For a walk about 6 miles or more, and then a circular walk up the valley on the hill slopes of Snowdon. Very pleasant here, very pleasant. And as I say, a well constructed footpath. There hasn't been much rain in recent days. So that would be a nice little tumbling waterfall there. There's a view looking up the Gwynant Valley, and that's Dinas Emrys there, that separate hill there. I think there's very little remains of the actual castle that was once on the hillside, on the top of the hill. Now, unfortunately, those black arrows there point. That was the footpath I originally intended taking, but I didn't realise I had a footpath going to this former hill fort. That's a separate footpath, so I'm going to have to go up to the top of the fort and then retrace my steps. So this diversion adds about, nearly a mile, and about maybe 300 or 400 feet of additional ascent to the walk I actually originally planned. as I've mentioned, this is the first time I've been on this particular footpath, and it's highly recommended if you want a short walk if you're up in the Snowdon area. Okay, beautiful here, and of course the sun's come out today. It's forecast to be fairly sunny for the rest of the day. There's another footpath that branches up there, Hafedi but the footpath to the former castle up there goes along here. Okay, I'm on this little ridge here leading up to the summit. Snowdon's up there somewhere, and there it is on the final 50 feet or so of ascent to go, and it's actually quite warm today. It feels warm, but all the temperature is only in the 30s for the snow, wind and the sun shining, of course. Okay, I'm on the top of Dinas Emrys, and there's very little to see up here. But there's fluid, you can just see fluid on the part of the Snowdon horseshoe up there. Yeah, there's the actual summit there, and that's the basically the top of the hill here. Looks impressive from down below, but it is more or less a flat top. The reality is over there, just can't quite see the village, and the car park is down there amongst those pines, so I've had to kind of go in almost a full circle to get to the top of this hill, and I'm going to go up there, along the lower slopes, well, the Arran actually, and then down to the Watkins path. Just about to see old Shabbat in the distance there. Okay, on the other side of the summit, looking down there to the Dinas, one of the two large lakes in the Gwynant Valley. That's Arran up there, roughly 2,500 feet above sea level. So this is the, you can just about see some boundary walls there. That would have been fairly impressive back in the, well, the 13th century, looking from below. And there's the, that's all that remains of the castle that was once, yeah, that was a square tower. Again, it would have looked quite impressive, a dominant feature from below. Here you can see the this square base of the tower that was formerly here. Some of the stonework is still in place. Okay, I'll start my descent now. I'll have just a short break for 5 minutes, and unfortunately I do have to retrace my steps and lose a bit of height, but I will be going up there eventually along the lower slopes. Okay, I'm back to where I was, well, nearly an hour ago. Yeah, so I had to retrace my steps to this point, and Hafed Ilahian, yeah, that's where I'm. That's well, that's where I be going to. Basically, it's the end point of this walk, and then I go back to the car along the bottom of the valley from there. Okay, just come about well, less than a quarter of a mile up this footpath, and so far it seems pretty clear. It's quite a nicely graded footpath. Just come a few yards further on, and it's nicely signposted. Craftlwyn, that's where I parked my car, and there's some kind of a footpath going down there. Yeah, but this is the This is where I'm heading, yeah. Kind of follow these markers up here. I like these kind of walks where you're in very excellent scenery, but you're away from the thousands of walkers that are just close by. Well, not thousands, not in the during the winter's weekday, but hundreds, I dare say, walking up Snowdon today. And this is impressive scenery. This is kind of like an amphitheatre here, and I presume the footpath goes off to the left and carries on ascending. I have done this walk once before, a few years ago, I think maybe more than once, but so this is a kind of almost new. I vaguely remember the walk from the walk that I did. Oops, a muddy patch here. Okay, let's see. They say boots are, in the winter on these mountain trails, boots are a necessity, waterproof boots. But it's surprisingly warm today. I think the temperature is still in the high 30s, but it feels a lot warmer. It feels as though it's well up in the 60s. There's very little wind and the sun's warm. You can feel it's quite warm. Came a few yards further on, and there's a junction of footpaths here, but there's those black arrows seem to be one points up that footpath and another points down here. So I'll cross this footbridge and see where this leads. No, I changed my mind. There's that footbridge. The path seemed to more or less disappear, so this is an excellent track, and it's graded. There's no steep slope so far, at least, which for the likes of me is very continuing on this gradual ascent. And unfortunately I'm not picking up. I got a phone app, a hiking phone app. It tells you exactly where you are, but I'm not picking up a signal, so I'm just having to rely, well, this is an obvious track, rely on the footpath signs, but I do have a paper map with me. I can always fall back on that, of course. Today I'm feeling my age a bit. I still do have days when I feel quite energetic, but today's not one of them. But here's like a ruined quarry building, probably to house the workers. There was some mining up here, well, probably back in the Victorian times. There, the barracks, the mining barracks down there. And here's what they were doing some mining here, judging by this spoil. Okay, continue onwards and upwards. Okay, Molehead Bog in the distance. Your Arran there, that's a Snowdon outpost. There's those black markers that are dotted along this footpath. Always nice to, I think they're put down there by the National Trust. This looks like the high point on this walk. The breeze has picked up, so that's an indication of a high point. And okay, yeah, so it may all be downhill from more ways than one. Not no, a good way, downhill in a good way from now on. Yeah, the top work, the ascent is over with. See that they're trying to prevent soil erosion by putting these boulders along to stop people walking on the grass or the marsh. There's Nant Gwynant just coming into view. Okay, I'm descending down into Cwm Llan. There's Lewith up there. Definitely nearly 3,000 feet, just a few short of 3,000 feet above sea level. And the Watkins Path there, you can see how well trodden that is down there. One of the main ascent routes to Snowdon, and there's Nant Gwynant and Molshabad in the distance. That's the footpath to Craftlwyn, where I parked the car, and I finally reached the Watkins Path. Very popular path, but not. I did see a couple of walkers just coming down, but they've disappeared. All right, so very easy walking from now on. There's an attractive waterfall over there, but I'll just point out this is an interesting feature showing the workings that went on at one time, quarry workings. That was a viaduct tract that came down there, and you can see it carried on down there, and well, way down at the bottom, I suppose, the valley. Okay, there's some walkers down there. They're going up. There's kind of a rough footpath that follows that. Well, it's an incline, not a viaduct. The incline going up to the quarry workings. Now that waterfall you see there was over 10,000 years ago. That would have been an ice fall. When this whole area was covered in glaciers. There's Yayaran again, and there's the ramparts of Lewith. Okay, that's a slight disappointment. The Cafe Gwynant is yeah, it's not open. It's closed. Yeah, it's open on the weekends only. Okay. So I was going to have a cup of tea. As I'm feeling a bit weary, I think I'll walk back. I'll take a shorter route back to the car. Walk along the main road. I was going to walk on the footpath on the other side, but I have that on a video. I think it's called Nant Gwynant. I took that quite recently. So these cars parked along here free of charge. Most of those cars are probably walkers going up the Watkins Path. Cafe wasn't open. No one appears to be at home here, so I'll just pinch one of these picnic tables and have a break here. These are the camping pods. They seem to be fairly popular. Now it's about a 2.5 mile walk back to the car along this main road, but there isn't much traffic on it, and it is, I think, more or less a grass verge, if I remember rightly, most of the way. The grass verge is ended, but as I say, it's not there's not that much traffic on the road. So there's the Dinas. I've got a close-up view of it here. Unfortunately, you can't really see it too when it's looking into the sun. You can see how calm it is. There's no you see the reflection of the hills in the lake. But there's an interesting house up there, that red house. You can see it quite plainly from the other side of the lake. Yeah, someone built that there in a good position at one time. There's one thing you notice when you walk along roads that you normally drive upon and never walk along. You notice these little kind of pieces of information here. Looks like there's a footpath here that goes along to Craftlwyn and 1 mile. And there's a nice tree there, beech tree, a sentinel tree, that is. Yeah. So this is kind of like a track. Let's see what, well no, it probably goes along, yeah, oh no, it's only 100 yards. And it goes back onto the road. There's the entrance to the Seagin, is it, copper mine, which I took a video of not too long ago. The Nant Gwynant, I think is the name of the video. Well worth going round. It's quite pleasant to walking along here. There is a bit of traffic, but nothing. There's a grass verge. And there's that Dinas Emrys that I climbed earlier on. Yayaran up there. So I think it's less than half a mile now to the car. Okay, there's another view of Dinas Emrys. Quite a spectacular little hill that would have been... okay, welcome to Craftlwyn Hall. Walking and activity holidays in partnership with the National Trust. So I'll just go off here because I think there's I can get to the car park this way and just take a quick picture of this house, which was probably a private residence at one time, which accounts for these pine trees maybe. There's the house there, but it's I don't know if that's an extension on the front. It doesn't look as though there's too many people around. Of course, it's the beginning of February. You can't get more off season than that.